My daughter, Ren, was crying and complaining in her live stream room, claiming I was a terrible father, with over 80,000 people watching simultaneously as comments flooded the screen expressing sympathy for her and calling me truly over the top until I pushed open her room door and asked, "Ren, your mother wants to know if you're going on the blind date tomorrow?" To which she instantly flipped her attitude and declared, "I'm not going. That guy isn't even half as handsome as Dad," causing the live stream comments to explode with questions like, "Wait a second, isn't this the girl who is just crying about being oppressed? Uncle, can you show your face a bit? Let us see how handsome you are." As Ren's stream reached 83,000 viewers with comments rushing like a waterfall, so she sighed in front of the camera, set her lipstick down, and began her performance, telling everyone, "Do you know that at 11 p.m. last night, while I was wearing an ex-lover facial mask and studying scripts, my dad pushed the door open and asked Ren, 'Your mother wants to know if you're going on the blind date tomorrow?' Which immediately triggered comments like, 'Asking at 11 p.m.? Don't cry, sis. This dad is so suffocating. His desire for control is way too strong. Managing blind dates at her age? +1 for feeling bad for her. Why is he like this? She comes home tired from work and he still rushes her to marry?' While Ren's eyes turned slightly red as she spoke with 3 parts grievance, 3 parts stubbornness, and 4 parts hesitation, saying, 'I said I wasn't going, and when he asked why, I told him the guy wasn't even as handsome as him. But then my dad told me to wait a moment,' as she pulled out a tissue while viewers held their breath until she continued, 'My dad said, what nonsense are you talking about? Is your dad an ordinary man? You need to lower your standards,' prompting comments like, 'Isn't this dad a bit thick-skinned? Dying of laughter, what kind of narcissist is this? Don't cry, sis, your dad's EQ is too low. Wait, the main point is whether she's going on the blind date or not?' So Ren wiped her eyes and added, 'I asked him how low I should set my standards, and he said at least half as handsome as him. So I said that's too hard because who in this world is even half as handsome as him?' To which he replied, 'Then just stay single,' causing the live stream room to completely explode with comments like, 'Haha, dying of laughter. Is this a comedy act between father and daughter? Wait, sis, weren't you crying? Why am I laughing like this? Is this rushing marriage or narcissism? This dad is so funny. Sis, is your dad in multi-level marketing? How is he so good at praising himself? 80,000 people online just to hear her expose her narcissistic dad, ha ha ha." Until Ren glanced at the comments, realized the direction was going wrong, and quickly pulled the topic back, saying, "Hey everyone, don't laugh. This is serious. You don't know, but my dad has never been serious since I was little. When I was 3 and fell while learning to walk, instead of picking me up, he stood beside me clapping and said, 'Do it again.' When I was 7 and got bullied at school, running home crying, he told me, 'Your crying sounds terrible. Cry again so I can hear.' On the day of my college entrance exam, I was so nervous my hands were trembling, and he said, 'Don't be nervous. If you fail, it doesn't matter. After all you take after me, you can make a living with your face in the future,' which led viewers to comment, 'Why do I actually like this dad a bit?' The conversation style is getting totally derailed. Sis, did you come here to expose him or flex him? I'm starting to want to get to know him. How handsome is he really? Waiting for a picture." As Ren put down the tissue and said seriously, "I'm not flexing, I'm truly aggrieved. Think about it. I'm 26 years old and I've dated 3 guys, but every single one was ruined by my dad," making viewers eager for gossip as she detailed, "The first one was a programmer earning 50,000 yen a month, but my dad said his hairline was too high and would affect future generations. The second was a startup CEO driving a porter, but my dad said he squinted when he talked and looked like a weasel. The third was a polite university lecturer, but my dad said," before she hesitated, making viewers ask, "What did he say, sis?" as she revealed, "He said his teeth were too straight, so he didn't look like a good person," which caused another wave of comments like, "Teeth too straight? Haha, what kind of crazy reason is that? Did Uncle come to do stand-up comedy? This dad is amazing. He can come up with any excuse, totally speechless. Sis, stop talking. I suspect you're secretly flexing. High hairline is indeed a programmer's fatal pain. The Porter CEO story made me die laughing, a weasel, ha ha ha, until Ren got flustered and urged, 'Hey, don't laugh. I'm serious. My dad might be handsome, but his personality is extremely hard to handle. A few days ago, I posted a status saying I wanted cherries, so he bought 3 kilograms, stood right beside my bed eating them one by one to tease me, and even dubbed his own sound effects like, "Crunch! So sweet, really sweet. Ren, look at this beautiful color, crunch!" Making viewers cry out, "Save me, what kind of devil is this?" Ha ha ha, I laughed so hard my neighbors almost called the police. Sis, your dad's comedy peak is top tier. Dad vibes overflowing the screen. I want to ask if uncle is missing a son? Is this dad for sale? I'll pay 5 yen. When I really couldn't listen anymore. Because the truth was, I had been sitting in the living room watching soccer while Ren's mother went out for square dancing, enjoying half a watermelon by myself while watching Messi dribble past players in total comfort, until my phone suddenly buzzed continuously as my close friends' group chat exploded with messages like, "Old Lee, Old Daisuke, hurry and watch the live stream. Old Wang, your daughter is exposing you live. Over 80,000 people are watching. Big Daisuke, ha ha ha. Teeth too straight, ha ha ha. Old Jang, Old Daisuke, you're famous." So I clicked the link and saw my beloved daughter weeping toward the camera, accusing me of all sorts of unforgivable sins, while comments exceeded 100,000, saying, "Is his name really Daisuke? That name sounds way too narcissistic. Haha, don't cry sis, let us join the room and scold him for you. Supporting you, this dad is totally unreliable. Wait, why does her tone sound kind of wrong? It seems like she's holding back laughter. I see it too. Her eyes aren't even red. So I put down the watermelon, wiped my hands, pushed her door open, and called, "Ren!" making her jump in surprise as her phone almost flew out while her hands scrambled to cover the lens before I said, "Your mother wants to know if you're going on the blind date tomorrow," causing her to instantly flip her face, knit her brows tightly, and reject, "I'm not going. That guy isn't even half as handsome as Dad," which made the live stream room go dead silent for a second before unleashing comments like, wait, isn't this the girl who was just crying about being oppressed? Did I hear that wrong? How handsome is this dad really? Uncle, show your face a bit so we can see." While I stood frozen, realizing it was all an act, as comments mocked, dying of laughter, caught red-handed by her own dad. "You're ruined, sis. Your image has completely collapsed." While Ren looked down at the comments, her face flushing bright red, so I glanced at her screen and asked, "Are you streaming? Dad knows you're streaming now. Is that really over 80,000 viewers? Your Uncle Wang just sent me the link." Leaving her looking like she had swallowed a live fly as she stammered, "Dad, how did you get in here? I locked the door." To which I replied, "Your room door wasn't locked," stepping behind her so half my face appeared in the frame, adding, "Besides, I replaced this lock myself 3 years ago. It opens with a simple twist, didn't you know?" Instantly setting off the chat with, "Oh my god, this voice is totally a handsome man's. Sis, tell your dad to take 2 steps forward. I can't see clearly yet. So anxious, shift the camera angle a bit. Uncle speaks so gently, nothing like what she described." I could listen to this voice all day, while Ren frantically tried to move the camera away, only for her trembling hands to point it straight at the ceiling as she pleaded, "Dad, go out, I'm streaming." So I said, all right, I'm going, stepping back before remembering and adding, "Oh, right, your mom said tomorrow's guy was introduced by your aunt. If you don't go, how will she explain it to them? He's a dentist and earns a lot every month. His teeth are just a bit crooked." Making her react, "Crooked? How crooked? I haven't even met him yet." So I explained, "Your mom said he looks fine in photos, just that when he smiles, he looks a bit like..." What was it? A bit like Jay Chow, which made Ren pause and admit, "Well, that's okay then. Jay Chow is handsome," to which I agreed. "Yeah, exactly. But your aunt said the real person compared to the photo. Well, forget it. Go see for yourself tomorrow." Waving my hand to leave, leaving viewers bewildered with, "Wait, what's with this plot twist? So is he complaining about teeth being straight or crooked? Uncle, did you come to deliver a message or solve a case? Why do I feel like we were tricked by this girl? Didn't she say her dad complained about the guy's teeth being too straight?" Her story's character image is contradicting itself until Ren reacted and grabbed me, shouting, "Dad, don't talk nonsense. That university lecturer last time clearly had very straight teeth. Didn't you say his teeth were too straight so he didn't look like a good person?" So I turned around and asked, "How is that the same? His teeth were porcelain veneers," leaving viewers shocked as they commented, "How did you tell? Is Uncle a dentist? My goodness, this dad is amazing, ha ha ha." So that was the real reason, not an excuse? While Ren looked disbelief and asked, "How could you tell?" So I answered, "Your dad worked as a tooth-making apprentice for 2 years when he was young. How could fake ones look like real teeth?" When he smiled, his teeth glowed so bright it was like a beauty filter. How could a normal person grow teeth like that? Shrugging my shoulders before continuing, "Not to mention when he pursued you, all the flower bouquets he gave were fake flowers," which prompted comments like, "Flowers were fake too. Did Uncle secretly investigate him? This dad is kinda scary." No, this is called protecting his daughter. If my dad was like this, I wouldn't be single now. Sis, your dad is the most clear-headed person ever. So funny, so not a good person meant that. As Ren asked with a complex expression, "How did you know the flowers were fake?" To which I rolled my eyes and replied, "The rose bouquet you received stayed there for 3 days without wilting. Did you think I was blind?" I even searched online about preserved flowers, spending a few hundred yen per bouquet to trick naive young girls. Someone who is both stingy and loves to show off. What kind of relationship is that? Causing the comment section to go crazy with, "Uncle knows way too much." But preserved flowers are expensive too. Expensive or not, giving preserved flowers on a first date is weird. What does it mean? Please explain. Preserved flowers symbolize eternal love, but giving them on the first meeting is inappropriate. Usually people give fresh flowers. "Uncle, what is your job actually?" Almighty Dad. While Ren was left speechless and had to change the subject, asking, "Then what about the first guy, the one with the high hairline? Why did you criticize his hairline?" So I sat down beside her bed, entering the frame completely, and said, "That guy was genuinely problematic. He was a programmer staying up late every day, only 26 but with a hairline like a 46-year-old uncle, with less hair than the feathers on your mother's health dance fan. So how could you marry him? Wait 2 more years until he goes bald. Facing a Mediterranean bald head every day, could you stand it?" Sending comments into hysterics like, "Mediterranean baldness, ha ha ha, less hair than a dance fan's feathers, top-tier metaphor. Truly the king of sarcasm. Sis, stop struggling, everything your dad says is spot on. What did programmers ever do to you?" As someone with a high hairline, I'm quietly leaving the stream, while Ren panicked and argued, "You can't make someone leave just because of that." So I shook my head and corrected, "It wasn't because of that. It was because at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, he sent you work messages. I asked you to look at the screenshot he sent. His written code looked like a pile of trash. How could someone like that achieve anything in the future when he can't even solve his own bugs, yet wants to be my son-in-law?" Making viewers shout, "Oh my God, Uncle understands programming too? Code like a pile of trash, ha ha ha." I give this reason 10 out of 10. What is Uncle's real background? Knows dentistry, understands programming, and pays attention to hairlines. A total all-rounder. As Rin opened her mouth and shut it again while comments spammed, "What about the CEO guy driving a Porter? Uncle, tell us about the squinty-eyed guy." Yes, the one like a weasel, waiting for Uncle to expose more. So I glanced at the scrolling comments, chuckled, and said, "They want to hear about the Porter guy too," as Ren covered her face helplessly, begging, "Dad, I beg you, please just go." So I replied, all right, I'm going," standing up to head for the door before stopping to add, "Oh right, that Porter guy. His car was a second-hand car bought on installments, and the down payment was covered by his parents. When he was courting you, that Western restaurant he took you to that cost 2,000 yen per person on average was actually using discount vouchers," leaving viewers stunned with, "Uncle even knew that? Uncle, are you a secret agent? Whoa, this dad is no joke. Turns out he was a fake rich second generation, huh? Sis, do you still think your dad is unreasonable?" Dying of laughter. Comments continued to flow as Ren finally couldn't hold it in anymore and asked, "Dad, why do you know everything?" To which I replied confidently, "Nonsense! Your dad has been out in society for so many years. How could I not see through a little thing like this?" Adding, The first time that kid came to pick you up with his car parked downstairs, I looked at the mud on his tires and instantly knew the car had recently traveled a long distance, only to find out later his hometown was in another province. 8 or 9 times out of 10, he drove it back home to show off to everyone. So driving it back to his hometown just a few days after buying it, wasn't he just using you as a tool to show off? Making viewers admire with, "Totally admiring you, uncle. Do you take disciples? This observation skill is top tier. Turns out, I'm single for a reason. My dad doesn't have this level of skill. Sis, you blamed your dad wrongfully. This is a verified real dad." While Ren stayed silent for 3 seconds before whispering softly, "But you didn't tell me back then." So I walked back, patted her head, and asked, "Tell you what? Tell you that everyone you date is no good?" Adding, "With your personality, you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Would you have listened if I told you? Besides, these things are only interesting if you discover them slowly by yourself. If I told you everything, how would you grow up later?" Leading viewers to comment, "This dad's perspective is so right. Uncle is right. Some things you really have to experience yourself to understand." So Uncle let her discover it herself while silently protecting her from behind. Oh my God, so touching. I didn't see this plot twist coming at all. Sis, don't cry anymore. This dad came to repay a debt from a past life. While Ren bowed her head without saying a word until I looked at the clock, saw it was almost 9 p.m., and said, "All right, keep live streaming. Dad won't disturb you anymore. Remember to go on the blind date tomorrow. Your mother said if you don't go, she'll cut off your allowance." To which she replied, "Yes, I know." But just as I reached the door, I suddenly heard her call out, "Daisuke, for tomorrow's dentist guy, can you go check him out for me?" Making me turn back to look at her with a face full of disdain as I asked, "Are you dating or am I dating?" So she blinked at me, looked at the scrolling comments, suddenly flashed a sly smile, and coaxed, "Isn't your judgment of people super good? Go help me take a look. Plus, there are over 90,000 people in the room now, and everyone wants to see what Dad looks like. Won't you show your face a bit?" Instantly causing the comments to explode with, "Yes, yes, show your face, Uncle, please." The expectation of 90,000 people. Just now we only saw half your face and couldn't see anything clearly. I want to see how handsome the legendary Daisuke really is. Sis finally did something useful, making me dazed for a moment as I looked down at myself, seeing the watermelon juice stain on my t-shirt that had just dripped down, my shorts bought back in college washed until faded, and my hair messily ruffled like a bird's nest from watching soccer, while chat spammed, "Right now! Right now! Didn't you just finish eating watermelon? No need for face filters, just use the regular camera." Sis, are you really his biological daughter? I totally admire this play. This watermelon eating state is top tier. So Uncle's current appearance is his bare face at home? Now I'm looking forward to it even more. And before I could refuse, Ren mounted the phone, pointing the camera straight at me to reveal a messy-haired, middle-aged man in the screen with a watermelon juice stain on his t-shirt, wearing flip-flops, still holding half a watermelon and a spoon in his hand, looking completely unrelated to the word handsome, prompting comments like, "Is this it? Ha ha ha, Uncle is so cute. This is called handsome? Sis, your filter is way too thick. Just an ordinary, middle-aged uncle? Sis, do you have some misunderstanding about the word handsome?" Why do I suddenly feel a bit disappointed? While Ren looked at me with her lips twitching as I looked down at myself, looked back at the screen, and suddenly smiled, asking, "Do you guys think I'm bragging?" To which viewers replied, "A little bit. Honestly, yes, don't take it to heart, Uncle. But you really look average. No bad intentions. It really is just an ordinary person's appearance." So I put down the half watermelon, wiped my hands, and swept my hair back to reveal my forehead, asking, "How about now?" Causing the scrolling comments to go silent for a second before exploding with, "Wait, am I seeing things? Is this the same person as before? Oh my goodness!" Sweeping the hair up completely changes the vibe. The eyes changed. What kind of magic is this? "Uncle, you must have been a heartthrob when you were young." So I chuckled, reached out, and took off the t-shirt to reveal a white tank top underneath, causing the chat to completely blow up with, "Ha ha ha, are these muscles from a 50-year-old? He even has abs. Uncle, are you serious?" I don't believe it. This must be a body double. Sis, is your dad a fitness trainer? Sorry, uncle. I was wrong. You are truly handsome. Who could resist this? While Ren laughed beside me so hard she couldn't stand straight, boasting, What did I tell you? I told you my dad is more handsome than all my ex-boyfriends. So I put my t-shirt back on, waved at the camera, and said, All right. Over 90,000 people are watching. Pay attention to your image a bit. Dad is going back to the living room to watch soccer. You guys enjoy chatting. But Ren stood up, ran to my side, shoved the phone into my hands, and pleaded, Dad, live stream for me for a bit. I'm going to the bathroom. And before I could say anything, she vanished without a trace, leaving me holding the phone facing the lens, a bit bewildered as the comments began jumping wildly with, Uncle? Are you still single? Uncle, do you have a girlfriend? Uncle, what do you think about dating someone younger? Uncle, I'm 23. Can I be your son-in-law? The person in front don't fight. I came first, making me look for a moment and chuckle, asking, You guys speak so boldly? As they pleaded, Uncle, don't go. Stay and chat with us. Yes. Tell us about you and Ren. Tell us about how you act as a dad. Are her exposures true, Uncle? Did you intentionally ruin her relationships? So I found a chair, sat down, thought for a moment, and said, All right, since it's halftime in the soccer match anyway, I'll talk to you guys for a bit. Earlier, when you heard her exposing me, did you think a dad like me was quite over the top? To which chat responded, At first I thought so. Now I see it's just Ren being naive. Uncle was protecting his daughter. Actually, I really envy her. My dad never cares about me. Indeed, the feeling of having a dad as a solid support is wonderful. But I shook my head and corrected, No, everything she said was true. I was indeed quite over the top, making viewers ask, Are you serious, Uncle? You're even doing self-reflection, as I recalled. When she was 3, learning to walk and fell, I didn't pick her up. I stood beside her clapping and said, Do it again. This story is true, but it's not what you think. When she was little, she was very timid. Whenever she fell, she would cry and lie on the ground waiting for someone to pick her up, but I wanted her to climb up by herself. Otherwise, if she encountered problems in the future, she would only know how to wait for others to support her, which would be terrible. That's why I clapped and told her to do it again, and while crying, she suddenly laughed and crawled up by herself to keep walking, prompting comments like, So that's how it was. Uncle really knows how to teach children. A very unique way of encouragement. Learn something new. As I continued. When she was 7, got bullied at school and ran home crying, I told her, Your crying sounds terrible. Cry again so I can hear. This is also true. That was because when she cried as a kid, she liked to hold it in until her face turned bright red, which pained my heart to watch, so I intentionally teased her to make her cry again. And after crying a few times, she forgot why she was crying and just focused on playing with me, making chat react with, Ha ha ha, I learned this today. So it was distracting her attention, Uncle. You're amazing, as I added. Before her college entrance exam, she was stressed, so I told her, If you fail, it doesn't matter. After all you take after me, you can make a living with your face in the future. These words were both true and false. With her grades, passing or failing was fine. I didn't want to pressure her, but what I wanted to tell her was that no matter how the exam went, she was still my daughter, and I thought she was great, making viewers cry out, Oh my God, so touching. What kind of national dad is this? Uncle, stop talking. I'm tearing up. I also want a dad like this. Before I paused and addressed the ex-boyfriends. As for her ex-boyfriends, I really thought they weren't suitable. Not because their conditions weren't good, but because their character was bad. Prompting, How did you see through them, Uncle? Yes, tell us, teach us. So I leaned back in the chair and detailed. The first guy was a programmer with a high hairline, which was a minor issue, but his character was bad. Once he came to our house for dinner while I was busy in the kitchen, and she was in the living room answering a call. That guy secretly sneaked through her phone behind her back. How could anyone accept a person who secretly looks through someone's phone? Making chat explode with, Secretly looking through her phone? Oh my God, was this guy crazy? Does Ren not know about this? Didn't you tell her, Uncle? So I shook my head and explained, I didn't tell her. Telling her would only break her heart. So I used the hairline as an excuse to make them break up. Anyway, he wasn't worthy of her. And using the hairline reason saved his dignity too, leading viewers to comment, "Uncle is so kind-hearted." But Ren would misunderstand you. "Why didn't you explain for so many years? What did you do it for?" So I smiled and answered, "What for? Just to keep her happy. If she knew he secretly went through her phone, she would definitely be sad for half a month. But now she just thinks it was a hairline issue, at most scolding me a few times and forgetting it right after," making chat respond with, "Tears falling instantly, I'm really crying." "Ren, do you see this? Uncle has always been silently protecting you." Before I continued, "As for the second guy driving the Porter, when he was pursuing her, I went out to eat once and ran into him by chance while he was gathering with friends, boasting that he just met a beautiful girlfriend who was even a small star. Wasn't she an acting major who had only done a few commercials, yet he already considered her a star?" Then his friend asked when he was going to introduce her to everyone, and he said, "No rush, just flirting and playing around first," sparking outrage in the chat with, "What a scum! This guy is disgusting. What does he mean by flirting and playing around? Didn't you punch him, Uncle?" So I replied, "I didn't hit him, but I asked someone to check his car, and sure enough, it was bought on installments." Later, when he invited her out to eat again, I intentionally had her bring me along, and at the dinner table I asked him, "Hey, X, how's that car driving? Is maintenance expensive?" His face turned completely pale, and after going home, he didn't dare cling to her anymore, making viewers praise. Uncle used bloodless tactics. This is a real dad. Learned it, learned it. Before I shifted to the third guy. As for the third guy, the university lecturer, that guy was the most unreasonable. He genuinely liked her, but he was genuinely sick. When pursuing her, he did all sorts of romantic gestures, giving flowers and gifts, looking very normal. But I discovered he had a bad habit, an extremely strong need for control. With chat asking, "How did you find out, Uncle?" So I recounted. Once she told me he kept forcing her to change her phone, so I frowned and asked why, and she said he complained her phone was too old and didn't take good photos, so he forced her to switch to the latest model. She said she didn't want to switch because it still worked fine, so he showed an unpleasant attitude and asked, "Are you not respecting my opinion?" What kind of nonsense is that? If he's like this at the beginning, how could she stand it later, making viewers agree? A red flag in the making, so I added, "I sensed something was off, so I paid more attention, and later I found out he even wanted to control what clothes she wore, saying her style was too young and advising her to dress more maturely. I've only known you for a few days, and you're already teaching me how to dress? How could that be okay?" rolling my eyes as I finished. So I used the excuse of his teeth being too straight to ruin their relationship again, making chat laugh with, "Haha, teeth being too straight is truly a universal reason. This excuse is top tier. Does Ren still not know the truth? Does she really think it was a dental issue?" So I stayed silent for a moment and said, "Some things don't need to be known by her," causing the scrolling comments to suddenly go quiet before viewers began writing, "Uncle, you are so gentle, I'm crying. This is true fatherly love. Ren is so happy. Uncle, are you missing a daughter?" Just as Ren, who didn't know when she had returned, stood at the door with red-rimmed eyes, so I raised my head, looked at her, and asked, "Done with the bathroom? Here's your phone back. Dad is going to watch soccer." But she called me back, walked over, hugged me tightly, and whispered, "Thank you, Dad," making me pause slightly before smiling and patting her back, asking, "Thank you for what?" It's not my first time being a dad, instantly blowing up the comments with, "Oh my God, this scene is so touching. Sis, don't cry, you have an amazing dad. Uncle is the best dad in the world. This is the warmest live stream I've ever watched." As Ren released me, wiped her tears, and told the camera, "Sorry everyone, those bad things I said earlier were just me talking nonsense. My dad is actually really good." To which chat replied, "We know, Uncle explained everything just now." Sis, your dad has taken so many blame hats for you. So touching. Are you still going on the blind date tomorrow? Until Ren saw the last comment, suddenly remembered something, turned to look at me and begged, "Dad, for that dentist guy tomorrow, come with me, okay?" So I refused. "I'm not going! Go talk to him yourself!" But she pleaded, "Just consider it going to help me check him out. What if he's another good-for-nothing? Don't you have super sharp judgment?" So I told her, "Go see for yourself." making her act spoiled. How could I have sharp eyes like yours? Dad, you're the best. Leaving me no choice under her coaxing but to nod and agree. All right, I'll go with you, but I'm not going inside. I'll only wait outside. To which she agreed. Okay, as chat overflowed with, so sweet. The daily life of this father and daughter is so cute, so envious. Sis, you must have saved the galaxy in your past life. Uncle, dress handsome tomorrow. Yes, stream it for us. We still want to admire Uncle. As Ren looked at the comments, blinked at me, and said, Dad, everyone says you should dress handsome tomorrow. So I joked, does Dad even need to dress up? To which she laughed. No, even without dressing up, you're still handsome. Making chat comment. The narcissist is back, ha ha ha. This dad is hopeless, but he's actually right. He really is handsome. Those six-pack abs are the real deal. Can you stream tomorrow, sis? Begging for a blind date stream. So Ren looked at me and asked, can we live stream, Dad? But I waved my hand and said, don't ask me, go ask your mother. If she agrees, then stream. If she doesn't, then don't. To which Ren declared, then Mom will definitely agree. And when asked why, she explained, because tonight Mom went square dancing precisely to show off to the aunties. There that her daughter's going on a blind date tomorrow with a dentist earning tens of thousands a month. Making the chat conclude, this whole family is full of drama actors. Turns out it's genetic. Is Ren's mom also this witty? How cute. This family is so endearing. I'm obsessed. I'm speechless. Mother and daughter are truly two of a kind, aren't they? Ren wrinkled her nose at me and grumbled. One is thick-skinned and narcissistic, while the other silently brags. I live in this environment every day. Do you think it's easy for me? Causing comments to go crazy with laughter like, ha ha ha, she's helpless. Ren exposing her own family is top tier. This family is so interesting. I really want to get to know everyone. Uncle, is your family missing anyone? I want to apply to be your son-in-law. So I stood up, stretched, and said, all right, you guys keep chatting. I'm really going to watch soccer now. Ronaldo is about to enter the field. As Ren held up her phone and smiled sweetly at me, teasing, everyone is saying goodbye. So I waved my hand at the camera with an utterly perfunctory expression and urged, goodbye, goodbye. Go to sleep early. Don't stay up late. It's not good for your health. Causing comments to scroll frantically on the screen like, good night, Uncle. See you tomorrow. You must live stream tomorrow. Uncle is the most handsome. Uncle, I love you. So I walked to the door, turned my head to look at my beloved daughter holding her phone, who winked at me to signal that the number of people in the live stream room had exceeded 100,000, but I thought, whatever, just let her do as she pleases, as long as she's happy. The next evening, Ren opened a live stream again with the title, Returned from a Blind Date, My Dad Rates It Live, instantly attracting 50,000 viewers as comments flooded in. Here it comes, where is Uncle? How did the blind date go? Was that dentist guy handsome, sis? Tell us quickly, sis. While Ren sat on the sofa with me sitting beside her, remote control still in my hand, dragged into the frame by her once more as she pleaded, Dad, give a rating. But I replied emotionlessly, no rating. What rating is there to give? Nothing has come of it yet. Making viewers ask, what do you mean? It wasn't successful? The dentist didn't work out? Sis, don't keep us in suspense. So Ren sighed and told the camera, the thing is, that dentist guy is actually pretty good as a person. His appearance is decent, and when he smiles, he really looks a lot like Jay-Chu. Before viewers pressed, and then what? So she continued. Then he asked me what I usually like to do, and I said I like to live stream. So he asked what I stream, and I said just chatting and occasionally complaining about my dad. He paused for a moment and asked, what's wrong with your dad? And I said my dad is very narcissistic, always thinking he's extremely handsome. He said, then your dad must definitely have the goods to back it up. So I said, he's all right. He was indeed very handsome when he was young. And he asked, what about now? To which I replied, now he's still decent. He even has abs. Until I interrupted her, asking, why are you bringing your dad into a conversation with him? To which she excused, it was just small talk, Dad, before continuing to the camera. After that, he asked, then can you let me meet your dad for a moment? And I said, sure, my dad is waiting in the car outside. So he asked, your dad came with you? And I said, that's right. So he went silent for a while and asked me, how old are you this year? Prompting comments like, What does he mean, complaining that you're old? That's not right. Wait, I have a bad feeling about this. As Ren said with an innocent expression, I told him I was 26 years old. Then he went silent again for a while and said, I think you're very good, but having your dad come along on a blind date like this, I feel a bit unaccustomed to it. So I asked, why? And he said, you're 26 years old and still need your dad to come along for a blind date. Isn't that being a bit too attached to your dad? Leading chat to react with, explain it clearly. Is he complaining that you're not independent? Dad, does this guy have a problem? What did Uncle say? So I glanced at her and asked, what did I say? I said you got what you deserved. I told you to go alone, but you didn't listen, making Ren panic and argue. How can you blame me for this? Clearly it's because your judgment of people is sharp. That's why I made you come along, so I questioned. Then when he asked why you brought your dad, how did you answer? Making her hesitate for a moment as her conscience suddenly kicked in, confessing, I said because my dad judges people very accurately, and all my ex-boyfriends were ruined by him until we broke up. Causing viewers to burst out laughing with, ha ha ha, sis, you're amazing. Saying that, who would dare to keep talking to you? The dentist requests to withdraw, dying of laughter. Your dad came along for a blind date, and in the end, you laid all your cards on the table with him. As Ren covered her face, admitting, I don't know why I said that either, probably because I was too nervous. So I shook my head, sighed, and comforted. All right, if this one doesn't work out, there's always the next. Let your mom introduce another match. But she suddenly leaned close, hugged my arm and declared, I think you're right, Dad. There aren't many men in this world who are even half as handsome as you. Yep, so I'd rather just stay single like this, prompting comments like, another day of being envious of this father-daughter affection. Sis, you are truly so happy. Uncle, are you sure you won't consider having another child? I want so badly to be a son-in-law in this house, for no other reason than to watch Uncle roast people every day. Making me a bit embarrassed by her words as I pulled my arm back and chided, all right, cut the sweet talk and quickly call your mother to report. Tell her not to go bragging to those aunties anymore. So she stood up, walked toward the door, turned back to the camera, and said, that's all for today. Thanks everyone for coming to listen to our father-daughter comedy show. See you tomorrow. As chat wished. See you, sis. Good night. Remember to bring Uncle along too. I could watch this live stream all year. Until she turned off the stream and the living room became quiet while I continued watching my soccer match, hearing her talking on the phone out on the balcony a moment later. Mom, it didn't work out. Oh, it's not that he wasn't good, but that I scared him away. How did I scare him? I said Dad ruined all my relationships and forced my ex-boyfriends to break up. I didn't do it on purpose. It was just a slip of the tongue. Oh, gosh. Mom, stop laughing. Your daughter is still sitting here single as ever. How can you still laugh? I know. Next time I'll go alone and won't bring Dad along, okay? Making me unable to hold back a smile at my foolish daughter. Until 5 minutes later, she ran back in, flopped down beside me, and begged, Dad, next time I go on a blind date, come with me again. So I turned to look at her and asked, didn't you just say you wouldn't bring Dad along anymore? To which she argued logic softly, gosh, I said that just to coax Mom. If you don't come with me, how will I know if he's suitable? Don't you have super sharp judgment? So I countered, don't you? As she shook her head and confessed, I only have you, Dad. So I looked at her, she looked at me, and finally I let out a sigh, turned back to keep watching soccer, and agreed. All right, I'll go with you, but next time don't say in front of the guy that I ruined your past relationships and caused you to break up. Dad still needs to maintain some image. Making her grin broadly, rest her head on my shoulder, and promise. Got it? Next time I'll tell them you're my bodyguard. So I echoed, bodyguard? To which she affirmed, that's right, a handsome bodyguard. Making me chuckle as I patted her head, saying, all right, a handsome bodyguard's hiring fee isn't cheap, you know, as she asked, how much? To which I answered, 1 barbecue meal per day. Making her dazed for a moment before laughing and closing the deal with, deal! While late night settled outside the window, the TV screen in the living room remained lit. Messi was running fast on the pitch, and Ren leaned against my shoulder, whispering softly, Dad, thank you, to which I said nothing, only patting her head once more, thinking what is there to thank for? A father, after all, is just being a dad.